So welcome to Making Money Part 2. Now, I want to spend this part of the video, maybe the main part of this. I'm looking at putting this together piece by piece by piece for you. And there's a couple of important points that come out of the first video that really need to be taken a little more deeply with the use of practical examples and with some stories that really illustrate what's truly going on here. You know, making money is not a philosophical thing, nor is it something that proves anything about you. It's one of these things that we all have to deal with in this world that's really practical, down to earth, and that gives us the resources we need. So I'm not going to idealize it or make out that it makes, making it proves anything about you. I'm just going to deal with it as something that's really important for each person to address so that they can deal with the responsibilities of everyday life. See, one of the key things that's very prevalent in the world at the moment is this thing about freedom. And something that's becoming clear through everyone's experience is freedom is not something that you have on its own. You know, freedom on its own eventually becomes tyrannical. You know, just all freedom. You know, giving children freedom to do whatever they want. They become little tyrants. You know, allowing people to be free to do whatever they like when they're adolescents or young adults. And you end up with everything from just pure bad behavior to tyrannical philosophies and, political correctness. Now, freedom has to be married with responsibility. And the two of them together, when you have responsibility and freedom and responsibility, you get power, someone who's truly empowered. So going after money purely to gain freedom without truly being responsible, responding to your unique design and its purpose, truly being responsible with how you relate to money and what you do with the money, that's going to empower you. That's going to give you power. But just gaining tons and tons of money in order to be free, or doing it because it's your responsibility to make money, that'll end up being, money will be a dictator. All responsibility and no freedom leads to dictators. All freedom with no responsibility ends up with tyrannical behavior. It becomes tyranny. But put them together, there's real power. Now, when I bring in the word purpose now and in the previous video, then you get this whole other thing, because fulfilling your purpose sounds like a heavy responsibility, to a lot of people. And people get very serious about fulfilling their purpose or very excited about it or whatever. But again, I want to bring it into that, hey, there's a freedom in your purpose. There's an incredible freedom in fulfilling your purpose. You've got a unique design that has a purpose. But what is that purpose in real down-to-earth terms? So you can bring money in and align it with that, and you can use money to fulfill that purpose. And what is the purpose of money? Well, let's go back to things like real estate and real down-to-earth valuation, of a piece of art a piece of real estate, or in your case, a valuation of your life and your design. For example, let's take, say, a quarter acre of land in downtown Manhattan in New York. I mean, in the good part of New York, you know, the financial district, or Fifth Avenue, whatever, or Sydney, or London. You've got a quarter acre block of land with nothing on it. Now, you could use it as a place for homeless people to stay. That would be considered a little compassionate, maybe. Or you could grow rice on it. That might be, you know, do an organic farm on that thing. But then if you wanted to have that land valued, what would be the way it's valued? And the way it's valued by people who are looking at that land is they look for what is the highest and best use of that piece of land. Now, in downtown Manhattan, in Sydney, in London, in the financial district, or, you know, a very valuable part of those cities, growing an organic garden is not going to be the highest and best use. Nor will be just leaving it open for homeless people to sleep on during the night. That's not the highest and best use of that piece of land. The highest and best use of that piece of land could be, quite easily, a hotel at the bottom with retail shops on the bottom floor. And then as you build up a high rise, you have either office space, high-class office space, or condominiums. So building a high rise there with retail shops, an entrance to a really high-class or quality hotel, and then condominiums or high-class office space above that, that would be getting in the ballpark of the highest and best use of that land. Now, if the other uses concern you, you can use the income that you gain from that hotel, the condominiums, the retail spaces to feed and take care of as many homeless people as you wish, or to set up a centre for housing homeless people, because you will have the income to then take care of that. There are places in New York I know of that have organic gardens growing on the roof. So you can do that. But using that land to build that type of high rise is more in the ballpark of the highest and best use. Now, looking at your design, what is the highest and best use of your unique design? Whatever your gifts are, whatever your potential is, that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about fulfilling your purpose. Getting the very best out of what you have, out of your location, and your unique design. There are many things each of us can do, but what is the highest and best use of our gifts, of your design? Now, that's what I mean there, getting the very best, and I don't mean the best out of yourself according to someone else's opinion. You need to look at you, where you're located, what you're doing, what's going on with you, what gifts you have, your design, your outline, and then it's it's really exploring. This is why I like working with things like your design, because then you get into all the resources you have and how you best make decisions, what's turned on, what you're designed to do, and where you're designed to receive, and how do we put that together, integrate it to get the very best for you, not for us to get the best out of you. Yeah, we'll be recipients of that, but for you to realize the very best of what your potential is. And that will fulfill your purpose, because life does not design things to be failures or mediocre. Hey, there are plenty of failures. And a lot of people live mediocre lives. And a lot of parts of nature can be mediocre. But one of the gifts we have is to consciously explore what is the highest and best use of anything, including ourselves. And when we do that, it draws, in fact, to do that, we need to draw resources to us, the resources we need to do what we're best at doing. So I want to get that whole idea of highest and best purpose, that whole, not just idea, but what does that mean in terms of you experiencing being true contentment, as I said, whatever that is. It's different for different people. Some people love to be, they're designed to be at peace. Peace is the core of their design. Some of us are designed that satisfaction is the core of who we are. We know we're living our design when we're experiencing that, because the core of our design is satisfaction. That's where we come from. That's our source. Some of us are designed, some of you out there are designed to come from that source of peace, because peace is at the core of your design. All of us can experience satisfaction and success. Some of you are designed not to just to do success, but success is who you are. And you're here to share that with others. To guide others to that experience, because that's your experience. And when you're doing that, and you feel you're doing that at a level that you experience true contentment, that's when the resources you need are being drawn to you and drawn to you. They can't help but be drawn to you. And you've got the gift, the authority to actually go, yes, no, 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 yes. This, thank you. The rest, I'll let go. And when you're in that place, you become not only well paid for what you do, but highly attractive for people to invest in all sorts of ways, financially, but also invest their lives in helping you with what you're doing, in being in a committed relationship with you, because what you're doing really aligns with what they're doing, and both of you can support each other. This is where love becomes more than just the attraction and the romance. Not, hey, attraction and romance are great experiences, but long-term sustainability, that's when you experience what a relationship is truly capable of giving you and being, what you can truly experience there. And it's the same thing with money. You can have those quick hits, or it can become your lover and your friend for life. And that's what you're trying to set up when it comes to making money and sustaining it and having it become a true ally, a true friend, a true lover. And there are people I've known, I talked about in the previous video, who, you know, there was a guy called Reverend Ike who used to, I mean, he was a reverend, you know, a true black, go for it reverend, you know. And he'd say, to me, money is a high-class lady. And those of you who know high-class ladies, you know she knows how she wants to be treated. And if you don't treat her good, she'll walk out on you. But there's one other thing I've learned. High-class ladies are drawn to empowering the best in you, not the worst. I mean, truly high class. I don't mean snobs. I don't mean people who look down on other people. I mean a woman with true class, no matter whether she fits the social model or not, who's truly high class. A woman who knows what it truly is, what a gift and what power that a woman has inherently in her nature. That type of lady wants to be treated with respect and treated well, but she loves to empower. I was going to say men, but in a relationship with a man, she will empower the man to do whatever he truly wants to do, to the point where he will support her fully in her creativity, because why wouldn't he? But I've also seen it with her children, her friends, her family. And how can I say that? Because I am blessed to have one in my life. In fact, I'm blessed to have quite a few of them as friends, as mentors, but also as my partner. When there's that class, there's that drive to empower, there's that power that flows out. And this leads me to the second part of this video, which is coming back to Daryl's suggestions about stories. I want to tell you about one of my favourite legends, the legend of King Arthur and Merlin. This is a profound, profound legend and story. Not the way it's necessarily portrayed in the movies or in some of the books, although it's so powerful as a legend that so much of the truth still comes through. But going back to the real source of this extraordinary legend, and I want to talk about a thing that most people know about called the Grail. Now, in the previous video, I talked about doing and receiving, giving and receiving, doing and being supported. And in the next video and the videos to come, I'm going to talk about each of our designs, but from the point of view of what you're designed to do and how you are designed to receive. Now, we know a lot about doing, but we don't know that much about receiving. I mean, things like the law of attraction have been popular over the last decade or two. But we still, hey, know that much. And we're at a point in history where knowing how to receive, knowing what it takes to open to receiving, truly be open, is so crucial. And the legend of Arthur and Merlin, look, that legend, and the myth of the Grail, they're found in every culture. There's variations on it everywhere. But all of that has been preparation over our cultural history for what is happening now. They were stories not about those times, but this time. They were when people were dreaming of this time, and they would come up with legends and stories, not just for their time, but to inspire them in their lives of what the future held. And now, the bill has come, and it's like, hey, you're going to talk about it, you're going to make movies about it, or you're going to live it. This is the time. And the Grail represents the source. It shows up in other cultures as the Ark of the Covenant, the mysteries of the pyramids, the headwaters of the Nile, the Force, Chi. It represents the source. And the source of the support that you need to do what you want to do, what you're designed to do. The source that gives you the support you need to make money. Let's just bring it down to earth again. That is represented. That's what the Grail represents. The Grail shows you how real change is produced and how it flows from creating a space or a container or a context. It's not the content. It's how real change is sourced and produced by and flows from creating a space or a container or a context. What sort of space are you coming from? What is the context of your life? You're designed to do something, but what is the context? What is the space you're operating in? You might say the environment, the people you know, and what are you receiving? That's where you receive from the world around you. And the beauty of the Grail is it gets you in touch with the way your feminine energy, or feminine energy in general, empowers you to give, i.e. the support you receive. It also gets you in touch with what activates joy in your life. There's such a need in the world at the moment for connection, and so much, in many places, a sense of loneliness, because it's from that space that we're in, from the people we know, from the people we love, from the environment we're in, that can activate the joy in our life. That's what does. And that's where we absorb the flow of creation, and that's where the magic of love happens. Yes, that's within us, but how do you source that from around you? How do you receive that as well, not just from within, but from the world around you? And in the legend of King Arthur, Arthur got to a point where he succeeded bringing peace to the land, and everything was cool. The knights were meeting at the round table. Merlin was doing his thing. Arthur and Guinevere were just cooking. And Guinevere never cheated on him, just as an aside. That was a French invention in the 11th century, way after the legend was sourced. That's another story. Everything was going. But like everybody, when you're building a business, when you're building a relationship, when you've got a life and a design, but you want to know how to get the resources you need, whenever you lose your juice, right? Whenever you lose the juice, or whenever you don't have the juice to get a project going, and you lose a connection to your source of inspiration, or where am I going to source resources, money, then you need to go seeking the Grail. And that's what Merlin pointed out to Arthur. Hey, everything's going and everything's going well, but just you're losing your juice, mate. The kingdom's a little bit stagnant. We're sort of not clear on where we're going with all this. We've got great things we're capable of doing, but we've just lost our creative juice. And Arthur said, you know, that happens all the time with ruling and kingdoms and leadership and relationships, working with the people I rule, growing our land, farming. There's a point where people lose their juice and they have to reconnect to the source. And so Arthur said, you know what? How do we get back in contact with the source, with this juice, Merlin? And Merlin, being Merlin, went, well, I suggest you get 5 of your knights, I'll tell you which ones, and you go find the Grail. And Merlin's going, the Grail is the source. Now, that is a whole story in its own, which maybe I'll do on another tape. It's an amazing story. And even knowing that in your imagination and how to get there and how to connect with it and how to work with it, that's awesome. Applying it in the real world is incredible. But one step at a time. Those 5 knights at Arthur's command, with Merlin's guidance, went seeking the Grail. How do you get your juice back? How do you revitalise your life? How do you tap back into the source of creativity? Remember I said women will empower a man to do whatever he truly wants to do. Women who know what it is, how powerful they already are. They don't have to prove it. They don't have to get it. They are it. They're the source. They will empower the man to do whatever he truly wants to do. And a man who's empowered like that will support a woman fully in her creativity. Why? Because she is the source of creativity. In those days, having the ability to receive support that empowered you to do great things, right? Having the ability to receive support that empowered you to do great things is in those days, it was called magic. And you can call it that now, but understand what it is. The source of magic, let's put it this way, there's things you can do. You can do great things without receiving support, but you can only go so far, like magic tricks. You can only take it so far, and then someone reveals it's a trick, or you do it this way or that way. But to get to real magic, you have to have the ability to receive support that will empower you to do great things. That's when the magic becomes real and sustainable. When you're a leader and you lose your juice, your magic, you seek the grail, because it enables you to receive and renew your ability to lead. And a great leader knows how to receive support and empowerment and uses it to create bounty for his subjects, abundance for his subjects. If you lose your money, you need to receive support that'll empower you to make it again, because that enables you to receive and renew your ability to make money. And a great financier, a great investor, a great business person knows how to receive support and empowerment, and uses that support and empowerment, often labeled as investment, but also great people to work with, incredible staff, a great business plan. They know how to work with people and uses them to create abundance. This applies to a small business. It applies to you as an individual. It's built into your design. So let's just finish this off with making this really, really practical, because those 5 nights had unique qualities, each one of them. And you need to know where we're at, because in the legend of the Grail, 5 knights went seeking it and only one brought it back. And that speaks to what is going to open you to receiving now at this point in history. You know, what's going to make law of attraction philosophy real for you? Tangible, rather than just a great idea and something that works, but maybe you stumble on it, but through experience. But what does it take? What it takes to receive the support you need to empower you and to be and to do your best. The 5 knights had 5 qualities. One was grace, the ability to do what comes naturally. Gracious giving, to give graciously of their natural abilities. And that's often what people say is going to make you abundant, is going to make you money, is going to get you a long way in life. And yes, it will. But will it open up your ability to receive? The second one was the night of bravery or gallantry. You know, someone who can really inspire you to step out there, or will speak up for people that others won't speak up for, or will say things that no one else dares to say. Will that get you? And the third night was courage. I will not live a life that does not reflect who I truly am. I will live the life I'm truly designed to live. I'm going to be myself. I'm going to be free. I'm going to be, okay, great quality. And the fourth night was virtue. Being strong, hanging in there, being strong, persevering. And the fifth night was loyalty. And loyalty is a willingness to be vulnerable and gentle with your weaknesses and your strengths. Weaknesses and strengths. Because that's what empowers you to truly commit. To put it all there. Being gracious, being brave, being courageous, being strong, virtuous. There are plenty of gracious people, brave people out there that people know about. famous people, film stars, generous people. There are plenty of courageous and strong people, but they don't always get the ability to receive. See, what happened in the legend is the Knight of Grace, giving graciously, lost his way. You can give and give and give and give and give and then find out, why am I even giving? You need more. There's nothing wrong with giving, but it's better to give than receive. And in order to give, you must know how to receive. Otherwise, you'll lose your way. The brave knight lost his focus. No matter how brave and gallant and inspiring you are, and I've met many people like that, I've done it myself, but inevitably, over time, there are times when you lose your focus. And at that stage, you don't know what to do or where to turn. Now, the Knight of Courage found the Grail. He found the ability to receive and then lost his courage. He found it, but then lost his courage. And part of that is receiving is so powerful and so vast and so liberating, so empowering that it can scare you. And then it's like, I'm courageous to live a life I'm truly designed to live. But the Grail, if you receive, you're going to become more than who you even imagine. You're going to become someone you could not even dream you could be. But it is the very best. It's the best and highest use of who you are. And so on one level, you need to lose the courage in order to get to the point where you open up to, where you're opening up to receiving in a completely honest and real way. Strength found the Grail and lost his strength. Virtue found the Grail and lost his virtue. Again, if you're going to achieve the greatest you're capable of achieving, it's going to take more strength than you have on your own. See, gracious giving will make you an idealist. But that idealism, that freedom without responsibility, it'll shoot you down. You won't get in touch with the power that you really have. The bravery, you'll lose your focus. Because it requires more focus than you're capable of. Something greater than even what you're capable of reaching in an inspired level. Receiving opens you up to a world that's even beyond that. It's beyond what you're capable of, but it demands the very best of you. That's what receiving does. So, yeah, okay, I've had enough. You know, courage and virtue, that's like, you know, hard work, hard growth. But hard work and perceiving and being strong and being courageous will only take you so far. So enough of all that, what doesn't work, what does? Loyalty. Loyalty is the knight who ultimately found the Grail and brought it back to Arthur and to Camelot. Brought the access to the juice the ability to receive. It's what you need in your world, in your kingdom, to turn you on again. Whenever you need renewal, whenever you need to get back in touch with the source, whenever you need to take things to the next level, whenever you've got a lack of money and you need to upgrade that, that will take you to the next level. Why? It's crucial to know your vulnerabilities and know your weaknesses. It's crucial. But again, people overdo it and they get lost in processing their stuff. It's crucial to know that because it's humbling, but it's empowering as well. But only focusing on your weaknesses will take you down a pretty dark path eventually. You also, most of all, you need to know your strengths. You need to be gentle and vulnerable with the gifts that you have, what you're designed to do. And if you're able to go, oh my God, I screwed up, I apologize, or whoa, there's more to this. And, you know, this area of making money or running my business, I can't handle it. I'm not good at this. Find someone who is. Receive support. And then once you've been really straightforward and honest with your weaknesses and turned a lot of them into assets, often by receiving support or being empowered, learning new approaches, working with people who empower you, then it's so crucial to own your strengths. What is it that you do? And this is one of the greatest things we're going to have to teach ourselves and our children, our lovers, our friends, our employees, that we have to convey to our investors and our bankers, or the people who are going to pay us to do what we do, what our strengths are. But never as a compensation or a way of hiding our weaknesses, but as like, I have this strength, and when I'm not good at something, I'll own it, I'll pass it over to someone else. If I make a mistake, hey, I'll be sorry, I'll own it, I'll learn from it, move on. This is what activates your ability to receive, because you are going to make mistakes and you are going to go down paths that don't fit what you think, that don't fit other people's concepts for you or what you believe you should be doing. And you've got to know that feeling of, oh, I'm moving into an area where I'm not designed to do things. And, oh, what does it feel like when I'm embracing my strengths? Oh, but I'm not that good at that. But how do you feel when you do it? I love it. Well, keep going, because you're not only gifted with it, but you're going to get stronger and stronger the more you embrace it. And it's in this that the whole power and potential of receiving. Because when we opened up to that, we're going to create the structures necessary, not only to take care of ourselves personally and the people that we love, but our families, our societies, our communities. We'll take care of ourselves and the earth. We won't be precious about it. And it's in this realm. This is what Camelot as a kingdom, when you know the details about it, it's just, wow, human beings can truly live like that. But they went for 30 or 40 years and then it folded. And in one sense, it failed. but they consciously let it go because the timing wasn't right. Even 30 years ago when I was, or 30 or 40 years ago when I was a hippie and stuff like that, we had these great dreams, these great ideals, but the timing wasn't right. We weren't right. We were still young and immature. There's so much about it, but the world is ripe for it now. And one of the highest and best uses of you is making money and receiving the resources the way you're designed to do it. Because all of a sudden, the hard yakka, the courage and the virtue, the strength and the struggle, or the giving and giving, but being disconnected from the real world and giving inappropriately, or just giving for the sake of getting, or being brave, inspiring people, but losing your focus. All of that goes because loyalty to yourself, to your design, to your ability to do what you're designed to do, to receive what you're capable of receiving, loyalty to that. And then loyalty to your partner, your children, your friends, your community, and sharing with them, being open with, hey, this is not what I'm good at, or I need help here, your weaknesses, or I've been traumatized in this area and I need some healing or some support and whatever, physically, mentally, emotionally. Or being able to sense weaknesses in others and being supportive and vulnerable with it, but also realistic. What is going to work for them? What is going to work for the community? And then going, and what I bring to the table is the best and highest use of what I do is this, this, and this. And that's what your design can make clear for you. And when you harness that and put it together, then not only do you make money and draw to you the resources that you need in ways that we can't even imagine yet. I've glimpsed this, I've seen this, and it's just so many of these problems disintegrating it because we open up to allowing the solutions to emerge and receiving support and receiving the solutions. It seems like they come out of nowhere, but they don't. They come out of our loyalty and our openness to bring the best of ourselves to the table, but to receive the best of what life has for us, internally and externally. And the most practical way to ground that and to take that out of just an interesting talk or an inspiring talk, to take it from gallantry and bravery and gracious giving, and not going, well, I have to work at this. You start with, you have a unique design. Get to know it. Get to know how you're designed to do and how you're designed to receive, how to put it together. Be loyal to that. Be loyal to how that's been distorted by making too many decisions with our mind. Get to know that. That's the most practical way I've found of being truly loyal to myself and setting my life up so that I can do what I'm great at doing and at the same time receive what I need to receive. And then have the pleasure of putting it together. And then money becomes one of the many resources that gets handled. And it makes it clear when you need to just deal with the details and when you need to put in the effort. But it also shows you how to relate to money like a high-class, elegant lady. you know how to treat money right. So she loves being with you, and she empowers you to do over and over again what you're best at doing, what you truly want to do. Renews your creativity. So I've run out of things to say, so let's just leave it at that. In the next video, I'm going to go specifically into various types of designs and how this works in real life for you or for people in general. If you want to go into how that works for you specifically, hey, get in contact with me. I can work with you in various ways, consultations over time. I'll explain that to you. But taking this as something you're going to truly grow into, having the courage to want more and the willingness to grow into it, not look for quick hits or snaps solutions, but real solutions that truly empower you to bring out the very best of who you are. You know, that's what the Grail is about, as a legend, as a story, as a metaphor, as an allegory. But you have that ability to receive within you. And you can open up to the power of receiving in the world around you because it's built into your design to do it. Great. Talk to you again soon.